After an extra innings loss last night, the Cincinnati Reds are looking to bounce back today. Can they get the job done?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Another winning night last night on the show. Went 2-1. We'll review those results coming up in just a little bit. No World Cup plays today, but we do have college football preview of the Miami Hurricanes, who fell short in the national championship against Indiana back in January, and Lee is going to break down the Hurricanes win total for the upcoming season. Also, WNBA play coming up for the lone game tonight between the Liberty and the Aces, but we begin in Major League Baseball, and Lee had a winner on the Brewers last night with Bryce Terang. Can he do it on the other side with the Reds for our hidden gem?
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
So the Brewers and Reds throwing up donuts last night before Milwaukee scored a couple of extra innings and held off Cincinnati to win the first game of that series. And Elly De La Cruz expected back for the Reds tonight after he spent a stint on the IL. But Lee, you're looking at another Red slugger tonight to go over his prop.
Yeah, I am. Well, I haven't taken too many Red sluggers so far this year, and they've been, absolutely red cold last couple days. But I think this is a good spot here for JJ Bleday. Now, if you remember, hot prospect coming out of college, the Miami Marlins ended up drafting him, and there was some talk he was going to be their, one of their guys, their pieces for the next 7-8 years, or at least until they couldn't afford him like most other players. But they traded him off pretty quickly, and he's actually flourished with the Reds here, and I think with having some protection here, some good hitters hitting behind him, he usually gets second or third. I think he's in a good spot here. So if you look at just his average 249, you're like, oh, that's kind of pedestrian. But he gets on base, 28 walks, drives the ball over double-digit home runs, and he's going to face Brandon Sproat today. And Brandon Sproat is not a high-level pitcher from Milwaukee. I think he's their lowest level starter here. He might be a guy that is demoted from the starting rotation soon. 1-4 this year with a 5.94 ERA. And get this, not only does he give up 12 home runs, no, actually 13 in his 63-plus innings, he's walked 32 in the 63-plus innings. So over a half a walk per inning, that gets you in trouble. Bleday gets on base. He walks 28 times this year. So all we need is a combination of two. Last night, Bryce Terang got us 2 hits. If we get a hit and a run scored, that's good enough. So Bleday might also pop one out here. So I'm gonna take JJ Bleday here over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. It's gonna be my hidden gem.
He went 0 for 4 last night with 3 strikeouts. We'll see if he bounces back. And again, we'll see how the lineup goes, assuming De La Cruz comes back tonight. And that'll help Bleday, whether De La Cruz bats in front of him, Bleday can drive him in, or if he's behind him and De La Cruz can bring him in. So we'll see how that turns out. So the Reds lose that game to the Brewers last night. But that was not the biggest news coming out of Milwaukee, as Giannis Antetokounmpo finally traded, find that out overnight, and he goes to the Miami Heat in a huge trade. He goes with Bobby Portis, and the Heat dealing a lot of guys, including Tyler Hero, going back to his hometown of Milwaukee, Khalil Ware, so many players going back to the Bucks. So Giannis gets his wish, leaving, he said leaving the Bucks, not leaving the city of Milwaukee, but leaving the Bucks organization. So I guess, Lee, how do you evaluate this? Well, before I ask you, right now, the Heat at FanDuel, they are the 5th choice to win the title at 20-1 behind Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Boston, and New York. So you think those odds are fair? And how do you think the Heat will fare now with Giannis and Bam up front?
There probably is a little bit of an overreaction there. They're probably in the 16th to 20th range as far as winning it all before the trade. Just shows you how all of a sudden there's just going to be a burst of energy around this team here. I think you're going to see Giannis play at a high level. He has something to prove. I think he needed a challenge. And what did Miami really give up? Tyler Hero, I know he made one All-Star team. He can score. Maybe one of the worst defenders I've ever seen in the NBA as far as a serviceable starter. He's got alligator arms, little tiny arms, could never body anyone out, couldn't block shots. I mean, he tried, just couldn't get the job done. So he was a one-way starter. Look at Ware. I mean, you look at him, he looks like an NBA player. Once out of every 10 to 12 games, he'll put up 20-plus points, 16, 18 rebounds, have 3, 4, 5 block shots. But the other 9 or 10 games, nothing. I mean, absolute dog, no energy at all. And then some of the other guys, Jaime Jaquez, nice 6 guy off the bench. But, these first-round picks that they're giving up, most teams aren't able to extract, and produce really good players. The Heat has been able to do that. But, they're looking to give that star his chance, and they're going to put some nice pieces, nice shooters around him. So I think this is a great situation here for the Miami Heat, and I think they're going to be in the mix.
And this is, you wonder if this is Pat Riley's swan song from the standpoint of getting that last star that he tried to get Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul and Damian Lillard and all these other guys, and it all fell through. And again, those guys, different points in their career. Yeah, Giannis isn't now a term a young buck anymore, a little older, but still he's not at the end of the line either. So we'll see what he's got as long as the injuries can stay away. Pretty curious to see what he could do with the Heat. So last night, Lee, we already discussed Bryce Terang. He had the 2 hits for the Brewers in their win over the Reds. That was a winner. Also, in case you stayed up late, I know Lee did. That's why he's so tired this morning. But Paige Beckers of the Dallas Wings, that was a back-and-forth game at Seattle, and the Wings ended up winning that game in overtime. The Storm covered as a huge home dog. But we had Paige Beckers over 1.5 three-pointers made. She didn't hit a three-pointer, Lee, until the final minute where she hit 2. So she hit a third in overtime. But you got to wait until the end. And that's what's hard about the unders is that you think you got it all the way through, and then it doesn't work out. But luckily we hit it.
Yeah. So we've had some hard luck losses. That was certainly a backdoor cover. I don't know what you want to call it, but I guess we were due to win one like that. So
that was a winner. The only loser, Senegal. They fell to Norway in the World Cup, and Senegal, the underdog there, but they had their chances, but just couldn't come through.
Yep, they're right there, probably an even game, but Norway has the best player on the pitch. I hope I'm calling it right. I believe it's called the pitch. So they got the job done. Could have gone either way.
So 2-1, we'll take it, start off the week. And now we go back to our second pick and our first wrong team favorite.
What the
WTF.
Only one game in the WNBA tonight. It's a late one, but a pretty good one. The Liberty and the Aces meeting in Las Vegas. And this was a rematch of the championship from 23, in which the Aces beat the Liberty. In 24, they met in the second round of the playoffs. Liberty knocked them off. So now the team's meeting again for the first time of this season. Actually, next Tuesday, they hook up in New York for the Commissioner's Cup Championship. I know Lee's got that marked on his calendar to watch, but these two rivals hooking up, and the Aces right now a short favorite, laying 2. We're going to take the points with the Liberty here. Now, first off, New York was on fire. I think they'd won 8 straight before they got tripped up by Washington at home as a heavy favorite, and then they were in control over L.A. on Sunday night, up 17. Sparks came back, beat them at the buzzer to shock the Liberty, give them their second loss in a row. So now New York trying to bounce back here. Vegas off a big win over Golden State a few days ago, and the Aces a half game behind the Lynx for the best record in the league. And look, these two teams that know each other very well, but New York has won 8 of the past 10 meetings since losing to Las Vegas in the championship a few years ago. I think the Liberty are going to bounce back here. Short underdog, second time they're a dog this year. They already won in Atlanta in that role. So let's take the points with the New York Liberty tonight against the Las Vegas Aces is our WNBA wrong team favorite.
You've been on hot. I think you really have a good feel for the league now because so many games have been played. The first 5, 6, 7 games of the season, I think, was a little more volatile, but I think you got it down here picking sides and also player props. So Tuesday night, I guess I'm riding with you.
All right. Late night game on USA before the Law and Order Marathon after that overnight. So that's what is coming up tonight, the WNBA, the lone game on the schedule. We do shift gears to college football. So we're going to start getting these team previews. We're ready towards the end of June. College football is right around the corner. So Lee is going to take a look at the Miami Hurricanes, Mario Cristobal's crew, and what he thinks about for the upcoming season. That is straight ahead. You are listening to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about our friends at FanDuel. And what's really great with FanDuel is, look, you have this tournament that is going on, and it's so much fun. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. And now FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals mean more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. And what's great about this tournament is you're rooting for goals. I mean, we all want to see the goals, right? We saw Messi score a couple yesterday in Argentina's win. Also, France, they put up 3 in their win. We talked about Norway, then Senegal combined for 5 goals. So we're getting a lot of goals in these matches. And coming up in just a few days, Thursday night in LA, Team USA is back against Turkey. So looking ahead to that matchup, the final one in group play for Team USA, trying to finish off a perfect 3-0. And again, these tournaments, what's so great is there's a lot of teams you've probably never heard of, and that's fine. But you know what? One goal changes everything, and you start rooting for that team, maybe to pull off the upset over a big name, and makes it a lot more fun. And now you get to benefit from each goal scored. So from the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com now to get started. Now, let's tell you all about Odoo. And Odoo, who has just jumped on the show recently, we do love them. You know why? Because running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent, it's about having everyone work towards the same goal. And that's true in sports, just like it is in business. And look, when you talk about the teams just won championships recently, the New York Knicks and the Carolina Hurricanes, 2 of them that what they had to do is they had to pull in the same direction. That's what they had to do if they want to win the whole thing. And it wasn't just about one great player or coach. It was a coordinated effort across the entire organization that made them successful. And great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/locked on. That's odoo.com/locked on. We continue the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling at Paramount Sports. Let's now go to football, college football right around the corner. The Miami Hurricanes, and time for our second wrong team favorite.
What the fuck?
WTF.
We're starting these previews now for college football, and again, you have so many teams to get to. We're not going to get to all of them, but Lee will have a lot of these college football previews and win totals that he likes. So let's begin with the Miami Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal taking them to the national championship last year before losing to that machine, the Indiana Hoosiers. Change of quarterback with Carson Beck headed to the NFL, and some other players off to the league as well. So, Lee, what do you like with the Hurricanes win total this season?
And I think last year the win total was 7.5. What a year a difference makes. This year it's now 10.5. I actually went to 2 of the playoff games they were in, saw their game at home against Notre Dame, actually went to one of the scrimmages a little over 2 months ago. So I think I know the talent pretty well. And I think overall they're more talented. Might have a better quarterback. They're going to be more explosive on offense. Darren Mensah, the quarterback transfer from Duke, is going to be really good. He's a potential first-round pick. Obviously, Mark Fletcher, running back, Tony, receiver, the transfer, Cooper Barquette from Duke. These guys are going to be really good and lights out. They could score 35, 40 points a game. But every team will prepare for them like it's their Super Bowl. Last year, Miami lost to Louisville at home and SMU on the road. 2 pretty good teams, but nothing special. And they just seem to be able to pull out close games in the playoffs and give them credit. I think they've turned the corner. They have a couple, I wouldn't say weaknesses, a couple situations where they're not as strong as last year. You lose Bain and Messidor, 2 first-round picks at defensive end. Not just their production, also their emotional value to this team. They were team leaders. They got the job done when the moment was biggest. Their defensive tackles are better this year, but I think they're going to miss a little something from those guys. And I think their linebacker position and also their DBs are not great tacklers in space. I think they're better as far as coverage is concerned, but I think they're going to miss some tackles that might cost them at times here. I think also the offensive line, which was top 2, top 3 in college football, might be top 10, top 15, but I don't think they can approach the level of production that they had last year. So you combined, like I said, these teams are going to gun for Miami. Let's look at their schedule. At Notre Dame, they're going to be an underdog there. So let's say they lose that game. Are they going to be able to run the table in every game? People forget they also got to travel to Clemson, got to play some other strong teams like Pittsburgh, who they embarrassed last year. So these teams are going to prepare like Louisville did last year for Miami. Louisville had like 25 plays they had never shown before. So they're not going to be Pittsburgh in the offseason preparing, to play Stanford or Cal or BC. No, they're going to be looking at tape of Miami because just like Louisville last year, if they beat Miami, their coaching staff is going to get probably their contract extended another 2-3 years like Louisville's did. So I like the approach Miami's taking. I think that they're in a better position right now as far as their roster. They're deeper here, but Mario Cristobal could blow another game. Did it a couple years ago. Why not have it again here? So they've had a couple of uneven performances, although they're more talented. Like I said, schedule's a little bit tougher this year, and everyone's gunning for them. I'm taking the under 10.5. I am winning. Worst case scenario, 9 wins. Probably they're looking at 10-2, and that's not good enough here. And remember, all these really good teams that have star quarterbacks, their quarterback gets injured and they miss some time, they're going to be in tough straits. Very few teams have a backup even close to their starter, even though Miami has some young talent here, just too inexperienced in that one position. I'm going under 10.5 here. Wrong team favored. Think Miami would be good, but not that good.
And you're right about that. Everyone knows what they did against Ohio State and Texas A&M in the and Ole Miss in the playoff before. Look, they hung with Indiana. They had chances in that game. It wasn't like they got routed in that one. They had chances definitely. And Carson Beck, throughout the year made some mistakes and had some turnovers at unfortunate times. But yeah, a lot of people are now, especially Notre Dame, after Notre Dame lost at home or lost at Miami last year. Now they get Miami at home. We'll see how they respond. And obviously Notre Dame feels like they got their spot in the playoff taken from them by Miami. So they'll be up for that game coming up in September. So Lee, a lot going on at Paramount Sports as far as Major League Baseball, World Cup continuing, WNBA and UFC. So a lot now before, we hit football, but still a lot going on right now.
Yeah, back-to-back undefeated nights in baseball. So you want to try this for 10 days, just $97. So way to build the bankroll. I know everyone loves football. It's my favorite sport, but baseball's every day. 10 days, $97. Player props have also been on fire. Try us here, 10 days, Major League Baseball player props, usually 3 to 5 a day, just $47. And the World Cup won again yesterday. So you want to hop on with 13-6 so far in the World Cup tournament. Use coupon code SAVE50, just $147 for the last 4 weeks of the tournament. How do you check out all the specials? Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as the podcast you could find on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Locked On Bets, and you'll be all set. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.